All right, I can do this. Make sure this volume is off. Here, make sure this volume is off. Okay. Okay, so what have I done? It says Zoom. Oh, so this is here, and that's where the chat is. I understand. So I should make sure this is muted. Go down here to this because that's this. That I don't want that because that's confusing. So could be over here. Let's see what's over here. Maybe not. If I go here, maybe not. So I'm trying to see myself live on the iPad. This is what I'm trying to do. Because I want to get rid of that page and get rid of this. Do this. Am I even subscribed to myself? Ah, very good. So it does take a bit for it to come up. Wow, that is the delay. So that's the delay I'm seeing. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, hey, look, there's people. Hey, people. Hello, people. Yes, let's be more professional. Right, so let's see. This will just be my reference to make sure what I'm doing here is working. Okay, good. And I can see some chat. Mostly, I got to see what's working. All right. So I thought I would do this video. Now, this video, what does that mean? I was going to show every aspect of what the whys is. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Let me, the idea is I'm going to try to get this in 10 minutes, starting as soon as I turn on the phone, which is a camera, which goes here. We say this, we say share. It's going to think about things. And then we're going to have this image here. And this is the part I wanted to see what it looks like. I have this right, I have this wrong. Okay, so if I do that, then I can use this like that. So what I want to see is what it looks like over here in real time. Right, so basically this is where I would want to start after I say, okay, there it is. So it fills the whole screen and I'm off to the side. Okay, that's great. That'll work. All right, so let us begin. This will be the start. This will be Davio 22's observations of the thrill of the chase and how I figured out what wise means and how it got me to this bizarre little location in the Wyoming mountains. First couple of things, observations, like he's looking back. We've got this big box of gold on the back. The other big observation would be page 15. I'll do a whole nother thing on what page 15 is to me later on, but already right here you can see that the 79th word is 79. So I believe he's telling us to count words. In short, that's what a lot of this means. I mean, the 10th line says, writ 10 is on line 10, 79th, 9th line. So I'm thinking there might be some little hintsy things going on there, just real big, you know, I don't know. We'll get back to that later. So now, let's hit the stop share here, and we go over to here, and then we go to, boy, this is video 22, trying to be smooth. All right, we go here, we touch the buttons. Ah, good. So if I ditch this, come back to, whoops, back to here. I should be able to do this. I can do this. This is why it's a practice run. There it is. Bang. Go to here, double click. Okay, and then we should see it here because it's got the little green frame around it. So Bang, go here, hit that. All right. So this is all the information that has to do with Wise. Stuck into one little thing. You guys saw a version of it yesterday. I've tightened it all up. So looking for signs, man. I don't know if the sound works. Boop, we'll see. Tripping through the thrill of the chase, absolutely. So signs. What would be a sign? Clearly, this is trying to tell us something right here. What stands out about all these things, right? So I started with what stood out for me, which is the box itself, the dimensions, its weight. You know, it's 20 and 22. And he said precision, so right away I kind of honed in on the 42. That is, you know, the number that's right away the weight of the box. So if we're trying to be exact and accurate and have numbers and some kind of precision, well, that's going to be numbers. That's why there's numbers on your house. That's how we find things. All right, so that means latitude and longitude and like that. Where would these numbers be? And I started with this one right here. Right. I made this so you could pause different aspects. Notice that the lid is up, the lid is down. When is a square a diamond? And it's 42. Well, that could be a baseball diamond because 42 Jackie Robinson was a really big deal. I noticed that this lid is a jar. And that comes up in the first chapter. It's on this old table. Maybe it's a historic table. Ha 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 ha. So that makes me think of the periodic table, maybe. I don't know. Keys on the table. Maybe there's got to be a key word. Could be trying to hint about that. Here we are on the last pages of the book, the epilogue. And it says the word table. Just on the other, I mean, we're pages away. Just on the other panel of this, a couple of pages away. So we're on page 146. It says table, 147, excuse me. Could a keyword be hidden somewheres that we should be able to find it from what's missing? Like there's no index. This is an index in front of you. I've made my own. I put in the postmarks and showed where they're missing, the chapter numbers, the first couple words of the first line, the chapter number, the alphabetic order that the first couple of words are. And you get to see how many times like my father, my brother, the word one. So to me, what stands out the most is what's missing, and that would be the postmarks. And here, if you notice on the left, it spells out the word William. To me, that really stood out because that's his father's name, right? Interesting, the numbers that are associated, the page numbers that are associated with those letters. All right, so there's got to be some other place that says this, you know, more than one for sure. So it's got a hint about it, but probably very indirectly. Try to teach us something along the way. So right up here on the very first line of the last page, I got this row 4 business. All right, block 23, I don't know, you know, not quite sure what that means, but 4, that's easy enough. Because if you just looked across the page over here, the fourth word from the bottom on the fourth line is William. And what do you know, he's looking at it too. I thought that was a trip. Maybe there's some words between here and there he's trying us to pay attention to. I don't know. Could be something, could be nothing. But I found that was interesting that the William was right there where he's looking at it. So there must be some other place. How about behind him, because he's always looking back. So right here on the bottom of the last page, I noticed that the fourth line didn't say will at all, but the one above and the ones below did. So you got 4 wills, and the fourth line there is not. But there are 42 words in that. I thought that was an interesting bit of, I don't know, trivia, detail. I don't know, how many of these things add up to be significant? It takes a few, right? So we're looking for signs. Is he that funny to put signs in there 4 times? Well, what do you know? He is. So my father, the teacher, right here. What a trip. So we're all around Mr. William Fenn on the 16th line, on the 16th page. The 16th word is principal. Right, and that's got a postmark of 16 as well. Trippy. Oh, there's your little post in the ground. So, 21st day, 11th month, 1903. Interesting. So maybe that's another way of finding William, or a variation of William, like maybe Billy, like right there on the 11th line out of 21, the third word is Billy. Maybe this is a way of hinting to us where we can find, that there is a key word. I mean, after all, this is, Skippy is William Marvin Jr. All right, so let's say all these words equal our key word. Okay, so maybe he's hiding some stuff in there. Interesting, maybe, maybe there's some other stuff, like in the periodic table. Why are the numbers missing off of that page? To me, it sure did look like, I don't know, looked like the periodic table with all those little squares and everything, and maybe there was some evidence that we should be using it. Like on 22 where Forrest is and where Skippy is at 50. But if you've been wise, maybe wise is right there on the table. Should be some evidence that Y, 39 and 88, I mean, he tells us to look up, or always to look things up, and right above it, S. So we got YS. Now we got heavy loads. All right, so that means if I'm supposed to use the heavy load, it should take us someplace. Interesting that all those chapters add up to 88. That was really interesting. And Forrest had cancer in 1988. Just odd curiosities. So, the atomic weight, just the heavy load. Right, so then maybe there would be evidence of this somewhere, right? How about in chapter 8? Wow, chapter 8's got a little stamp that's got a 3-9er on it right there. Wow, that's a trip, 1938. All right, wow. Oh, look at that. You even got the word Billy on that page. So there's the same word we just saw a minute ago at the other end of the book, or the front of the book. And here we are at chapter 8, and we have that. Well, here we are on page 39, chapter 8. We're looking at the 8th word that says 8 o'clock. Kind of thinking that there's a big hint right there, zoning you into where 8, 8, 39. All right, so what about 21? Chapter 21. That makes sense. We can go to page 21 and look at that too, but maybe chapter 21, Father on the Banco. Maybe there's something here that's, oh, look at that, 039 on that postmark is there as well. We'll get into the N7 at another time. But Banco is bench. So perhaps the numbers 39, 42 have taken me to a place where you look quickly down and you see 21, you see the bench. I mean, if you've been wise and you found that blaze, it would be a confirmation. You look quickly down, right? So maybe this is the blaze. Maybe I should show you all the numbers that get me to that location right there. So why would this be called a blaze? I wonder. Could it be the dog star that is in line? Well, let's look quickly down from that blaze. What do we see? Well, look at that. There's the bench right there. So from the bench, you really can't see the rest of the area, but you can see the blaze from everywhere in the area, and you can get a heading off of it. You can get your compass off of it. Look at that cool little skull I found out there. There was a deer that didn't make it. So I brought you to the bench. There's Willie. How does Willie come into play? That would be the next part. Uh-oh. Hit the escape button, Dave. Hit the escape. Let's fix this over here. Let's put this over here. There we go. All right, so I guess the other thing to show you then is where do those numbers come into play, right? Let's do that real quick. So what you're seeing here is theoretically live. Yep, here we are. This is a live map page. All right, and if I click right on that, which is the big blazy rock, whoops, let me get this out of the way. I can move this to the top. So when I click on this, you're going to see some numbers come up. Right down there. Straight away, 42, 39, the very number I just showed you that is all over those postmarks. The other number, 105. What is important about 105? 105 on the periodic table is dB. dB is the number, is what you call sound. It's the measurement of sound. It's a decibel. Decibel levels, right? So dB right there. I can show you where, 105 shows up many times in there. It's also the wing number of Wiley Post, the pilot that crashed with Will Rogers, and I can show you where that comes into play. But mostly right here I was cutting to the chase of where 42 and 39, those two numbers, and then the rest of this, the 61 and 82. Well, you remember when he says here I said just past midnight? Well, isn't that AM? Right? Just past midnight is AM. AM and PM. PM is 61 on the table over there. I've got more numbers I can show you how they correlate to this particular location. But interesting how we have landed to this place that has this big face right there. Look at this. Here's the nose. Here's the brow. And then we've got numbers that easily come up all over the place. Probably the most important number. Really rather incredible. Right here in the middle of the screen, you're going to see when it gets down to 20 feet, then you click on these two E's right here, you're going to see a number pop up. Look at that. 473. I believe 473, or is it 479? 473 is really important for the House of Brown. Let's see if we can't find number 5. Charlie Brown, as in House of Brown. You're seeing this character right here, whose number is 555-95472. Okay, I'm off by one digit. I just have to move my mouse a fraction, and I'll have that number right there. The 472 part, anyway, right? Not the 95. The 472 part is this character from Peanuts. You know, Charlie Brown, Peanuts. I'll show you all the connections on how that would be possible. But that takes us to a location out here by using digits and words that are all over the place. We are seeing drawings all over the book. We know that 1111, the artist, which is on Forrest Fenn's website, does cartoons with Schultz. It's Veterans Day, and you will see Charlie Brown's, actually Snoopy, having a beer with Willie the soldier, which is part of Bill Muldren. Bull Muldren, yeah, Bull Muldren, the award-winning cartoonist, who is that's the cartoon you're seeing on Forrest Fenn's website at the very end of it. So, all right, that's probably enough information. I thought I would do another one showing the more detail of the numbers on how to get warm water hots. Let me know what you all think. I'm kind of curious. All right, so I'll stop right there with this part of the program, and I'll be able to answer some of the stuff over here. So if you don't want to hear, how do I do? Is this 26 minutes? 26 minutes. So if I can probably get this down probably to 15. I want to get the information just really packed in there, and you just have to stop it. But I want to show where the information is, right? So I'm just not making it up, right? And then I want to show where the numbers land in that field. Now, once you're in that field, there would have to be more than just that to confirm where you're at, right? So I was going to show that in future videos on where the numbers, the first one, page 32, he talks about a slab in his pocket. Slab is exactly, north of that. I can actually show, well, let's do this. I can show you the slab, but I'll do a video which will be more clear about where and how that, okay, yeah, that confusing. Come on, little computer, wake up, you can do it. I know it's a lot. All right, so here's the slab. All right, so here's the big pointy rock. Notice that you can see this anywheres in the field. Whoa! You can see this anywheres in the field. Now, I'm going to use the measurement tool, and we're going to go, let's get this out of the way. We're going to put this on our big pointy rock. Now, this works out as an excellent way of getting measurements. Now, for Shahor, this right here is exactly north-south, 0-32 degrees. So if you're standing on this slab right here, which it says on page 32, he has the marbles in his pocket, pockets, another important word. So he's over here, making marbles in his pocket, right in class. That is the slab that is in reference. Now, stand there, aim your compass at this rock down over here, very, very north-south, right? Okay, then you come over here about 7 degrees, and you come into N7, which would be farther around the Banco, and then you start going to page 35, 37. You'll notice that there are drawings of headstones all the way to 42. 42 is exactly right here. This is 42 degrees if you're standing here aiming your compass. So I was going to show all of these aspects, bing, 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 because I have the footage of that location. So I can actually show you what it looks like as you're standing there, looking back at the rock, using it, dead reckoning, off of your compass. Whoa. Right? That is that's the idea, Vern, is to show all that right there. Let's ditch this. Here's another thing I wanted to show you. This fella right here. Look at that. See the cowboy hat? Look at that. See the ears on the horse? Here's the top of the horse. Here's his shoulder coming down. That's the top of the cowboy hat. Look at that brim right there on that shadow. Right? Isn't that cool? Yeah. Interesting, because I do believe this would be a little visual icon for the river runs through it. Part of that is because I do believe it's the right distance. It's like right around here. You'll see these words pop up. Creek. Right now, I believe if I get small enough, and you click in between the E's, and I'll have to show you why I figured that out. It will say 1, 2, 3. Boom, 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 boom. I do believe it will say 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it was a measurement you take from this right here. That's right. I'll have to show how that works. So measurement. So we're going to measure from, let's get down low. Get down low enough. You see this consistently, the 2 E's land on that tree. Bang. All right. So now we are here, and then there's a rock, which we land right here. That was 263, so I believe to the next one over here, that was 1, 2, 3. So this part of the little video is definitely not going to make it. This was practice for me to see how the talking part. 1, 2, 3. Now if I back up, it takes us right to the horse. In other words, the time of the movie of A River Runs Through It is 1 hour and 23 minutes. The page number 1, 2, 3 in the book is the Big East. This is pure east right here from this location. East is significant. And that's the creek. And if you'll notice the pictures of them fishing, it's all about being on that side of the creek, because I do believe he's trying to get us to come up this way, to come behind this. This would be where Willie is. So I do believe he's trying to get us to be back over here. I think so. This is where I believe the box was. Is not over here in this area, but I think it was back over here in this area, because this is where the old abandoned fence line runs right through here, and it comes up over this and it stops right here. So this would be the line of the fence line. Basically, is exactly this. So I think the postmarks in the book represent the fence line, and I think it comes right through here somewhere. That's as far as I figured out all this stuff. I figured out was like from here to like the I in India or something. It's between these two words, because that's where the fence is. Because this is the icon. This is why you come to this location, because of this crazy rock formation, and because of this one right here. This one looks like a face or something. It's a very strange looking deal. Right? It's like, what is going on here? Is this some person in recline? What? You know, little face, little eyes, nose, little butt. What's that deal? Really strange, right? So you look at this location, but you have no idea that it's this big monstrous rock formation. You have no idea. None. You can't see it till you get there. Right, let's see. Baseball diamond, but there was White Forest. World Series, yeah, that was always very interesting. This right here, that's more interesting. So you'll notice that, how do I get this? This doesn't get small. That's it. All right. There's no steering this around. The numbers here. Notice the O over here is 16. So one of the reasons we're looking at 16, page 16, is drilling down in your head, is because that is east, along with 90, and or 3 o'clock, right? So this is your compass. This is your dead reckoning compass. This is extremely important. Oh, I know I can't do anything because I am at the page. I am actually on the page that is. This is kind of live. So if I go like that, it'll take me to where you actually can find this compass. Isn't this interesting? Look at that. S-O, N-O. Words that are all over the bottom half of the poem. More fascinating stuff is this page number jives with that chapter number. So this degrees right here jives with the page. So there's hints just like right in there. Right? Chapter 26 would be this one. The book ends right there on 427, 428. That's where the book ends. So is it 137 chapter? Yeah. So you'll find that there are chapters that line up to these numbers right here. Chapter 23, which is the gold one. So stuff like that is very, very interesting. And then, of course, the corresponding opposite side. Yet more information, more information to glean. Remember page 15, the big NO right there? So could be telling us about, we should be paying attention to these numbers here, perhaps. I don't know. Interesting, yeah? Now, stop sharing. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh, hey, man, right on. Well, enough of me chatting. How'd you guys like the first part? That was the only thing that mattered, really. And then I got what do you call it? Sore throat. Light heavy instead of heavy. So heavy. Holly likes it. Thanks, Holly. Antlers. Yep. Oh yeah, I got the whole deer. What was it? 3.4 point buck died. I mean, it was really kind of incredible because when I came upon it, it was just at the end of winter, so it was still kind of frozen. And it looked like something ate on it, but not much. Anyway, Just checking to see if there's any questions. You probably know it. Yeah, it's time to head to dessert. Maybe task. So, what about measuring angles? Yeah, that'll be in the next one. Exactly. Now that you've got a thing to aim a compass at, then the degrees matter, and that is what a Terry point is the angles that come off of your triangle. So pieces of pi that he's doing before, so all that sort of stuff. So that's what's next. Is I'll be doing the next three will be what warm water what is warm water halts and how it relates to this location. Then the next one would be the bottom two paragraphs of the poem are its own thing. Wow. There's so much drawings in that. And then the numbers matter as you number the poem from the top and to the bottom, how the numbers relate to the other things. So there's, I mean, obviously, if he's drawing numbers, if he's making us pay attention to words and lines, then that's got to be going on in the poem, right? So that's what I thought I would show. I mean, isn't that fascinating? You really, I mean, I thought everybody would be doing stuff like that, like highlighting, where the key word is and off of the word sit. If we know bench is important, and he's having his father sit on the Banco, so sitting, and we see him sitting on the bumper or fender, different, that that's what they used to call that, is the fender, not the bumper. Fender bumper? Yeah, I wonder. So is he trying to tell us about a Fender guitar? But anyways, little hints like that all over. Look at this. North, right? Or is it not as in zero? Ooh, not is another way of saying zero, right? Not one, not two. So that's where I was going. And it's taken it to this place. Now, I feel like I needed to get this out within 40 days. Two reasons. One, it looks like right around that time is when whatever public information about forests will come to light. Secondly, I need to be done with this and put it in a box and set it on fire. Not the books, just the overload, the too much literature. So I thought I would put this out into video in a real tight, tense form, where I have found all the numbers and correlation to the Williams in the world that he is referring to, or the Willies, or Burke. For instance, did you know Billy Burke is the name of the woman that played the Good Witch in The Wizard of Oz? Rainbow, Wizard of Oz. Those things tend to come up. Rainbow is also the name of Jimi Hendrix band, since we brought up the word Fender. So I was going to show where these things kind of come in, because Hendrix played Woodstock. Woodstock short jump to Charlie Brown. Pow. And Woodstock is the critter that hung out with Bill Malden. And so I was going to show these connections that are directly what Forrest is showing. He's showing you Bill Malden cartoons. Saturday Evening Post is one of the first places that Charlie Brown's cartoons were seen. So, what are the Saturday Evening Post drawings and cartoons by Norman Rockwell? What's the relevance? What do those images mean, and where? So I was going to show those kind of things. By the way, I was really hoping that I could get Smell the Sunshine to jump in on some of the stuff that I found and see if he doesn't find it himself in the stuff that he's doing. Just to kind of bolster, because there is the stories like Holden Caulfield. There is the style of wordplay. I am so dyslexic, I would never have ever known that. I have never read enough books to ever get a feeling of this guy is a little bit like this guy. Mine is more like this map is a lot like this map, or this map's better than that map. This route, that direction and going and stuff like that is more what I'm about. Reading a book, no. I never. It's always extremely hard. It's always a chore. And I think that was for Forrest in his early life too, because it's gotten a lot easier for me in my older life. Point is that because Forrest, old boy, has shown us so many photos and things like that, and he's referred to Robert Redford and other movie people, I'm thinking that he really has brought in movies into this whole thing to a large degree. Golden statues. There's a lot of stuff about stars and all that involved in it. And that would mean all media for Forrest, since he's kind of grown up with media, radio into television, right? I mean, he's hand painted to Technicolor, which is just amazing. What was truly amazing in 1938, 39 was look quickly down. That would be Bashful, and that would definitely be not Mary Poppins, awesome movie, Seven Dwarfs, right? Which was just amazing for to see that movie in that era, because it was vivid living color. I mean, it was wonderfully alive to see stuff like that, and it won lots of awards, and it really launched Diz into outer space. Those movies, the ones that are all hand painted, or how they the color in that. Can you imagine all you've seen is black and white, and you have this thing come alive in color? Oh, yeah, just amazing. Just like stereo. Stereo happened in the '60s, so it was all mono 45s, and then stereo happened. It's like, wow, you can actually hear, the definition of the instruments. That was my era. Two speakers, actual stereo. Yeah, they recorded a piano with two microphones in it, drums with two microphones, guitar with two microphones. You get a sense of depth when you have two microphones because you have two ears. It's just kind of genius. Oh yeah, I should be paying attention to y'all talking. Aha, Holly. What about measuring angles? Yes, of course. Does love win in the end? Yeah, in the movies. Hendrix's last album, Rainbow Bridge. Think of his name, the full name of the band, which is something Rainbow, the Rainbow Bridge, something was the name of his band at Woodstock. Woodstock, he was at the height of his career. I mean, he was a big deal, man. You know what? And I think there might be a theme of black performers and black entertainers and civil rights, because that was a monstrously big deal through Forrest and his children's era. In that, 42, Jackie Robinson. If you just look at the number 42, it takes you straight to Jackie Robinson. That's a huge baseball thing. There'd be no Willie Mays, 24, without 42. Yin and yang in numbers there. Interesting, right? And then of course you get the famous quote from Ted Williams about Willie Mays, who said that Willie Mays was the greatest natural baseball player he's ever seen. So there's some, and of course Ted Williams being number 9. So if you're getting into jersey numbers, number 9 of course has got to be relevant. That's Ted Williams, and that's Fenway Park, and that's red seat number 42, and that in itself would be its own video. So I've been going on now for 45 minutes. So I definitely think this is going to get edited. I'm gonna put this video up, but I'm going to chop it off at this end back here, and then go in and just put in more concentrated data on where you can find these things. I mean, the whole front of the book. Don't you find who we have here? J.K. Pioneer, experience, yes. Or the Band of Gypsies. Yes, it was the Rainbow Band of Gypsies. The Rainbow Brotherhood Band of Gypsies. That's what it was. The Rainbow Bridge of Gypsies, or something like that. Good to see you, JK. You too, Zoe. So I propose this. And who else? Holly as well. All right. So I've got you folks in here. 3's fine. I don't need any more than that. So, in your opinion, you think you know how to phrase the question? It is not obvious, except for the fact that he has named a couple of ball players and Baby Ruth, the candy bar, in this. one has seen a rather lack of baseball. That would you agree that there is a subtle nod to baseball, but extraordinarily small and only if you know baseball? How about that? I think that makes sense. It doesn't seem like he is overtly letting you know about baseball, which, by the way, if you're writing a memoir, you're going to talk about baseball. All right, it's Lou Gehrig and all that. So, what do we have here? So, Topsy, Davia, do you think Boris has been, cremated and placed in his special spot? No. Cremated? Possibly, maybe. Um, uh, I've been through that process, and it all depends on the size of the town, what's going on, money, which is not a problem for these guys. So cremation is probably likely happened, and I would imagine that there is something going on with Peggy and the family and a plot, and then there's going to be something going on with our boy Shiloh. Just a feeling I have that Shiloh boy here is will be fulfilling wishes on what Forrest would want for Ashes. That's not all of Ashes, but a partial is what I'm going to think. You know, solve the world. Good Lord, feed everybody. Just get rid of money. There's clearly an agenda, and we're part of it. Too bad. Bug bye. Bug bye. Bug bye. Who's bugging? Why bye? Buy bugs. Buy bugs today. Buggy bye. I used to shoot meadowlarks. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Birds. And then the robins, you couldn't shoot the robins because you see the BB coming. And they would duck, which is the same as taking a bow. I always took that as a nod to Robin Williams. And Robin Williams played Popeye. And that's your connection to Wimpy Burger. Popeye. One-eyed sailor. Wiley Post, because we're seeing freaking postmarks everywhere. Wiley Post would be the guy who has one eye who set the records in flying, who died with Will Rogers. Now, that's all the next crap that I was going to do the video on. Let's put all that together and show, through the key word what that would mean. And there's more than one key word, so I'm showing how and where the next key word would show up and what that means. For instance, I mean, when you're looking at the cats and the cow, yeah. All right, what? I thought his wife would be the same. Well, I imagine there's going to be, if there's cremation, because we are assuming that because it's been brought up in the thrill of the chase, I would imagine the family would want their father, grandfather, great-grandfather, husband in one place. That doesn't mean that other ashes symbolically can't be someplace. Or even a freaking box. I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, are we looking for a place where Forrest is going to be? Now we're finding sacred ground. Fascinating deal here. Fascinating deal. Huh. My daughter don't know who Clark Gable is. No, your daughter would not. I'm going to say, Tony, is your daughter in her 20s, 30s, or 40s? And she would the only movie, if she's in her 40s, would be Scarlett O'Hara. I mean, look how much media comes out. Why would you want to look at old movies? When we were young, you looked at old movies because there wasn't that much media out, right? And then who owned it and who put it out and how they put it out to make money off it. Very different than now, right? Very different than now. He's a maverick. Aye, that's true. Colorado, brutal. It's okay. I mean, it's weird being in lockdown. The weather is very strange here. And I haven't gotten to see much because, well, lack of money. Money makes it possible to go see stuff. Rogue. He's a rogue indeed, you know. Just know the guy's freaked out the wrong cousin. What? Trudy, I just know that he's at the guy. He's freaked out about cussing. Forrest? Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to change the format on how I do this because I don't want to sit here and make real pretty videos. I think dumping out the information and having it locked down is good, and then moving on is better. That's what I'm thinking. Because it's about how much time do I want to spend rehashing stuff. I'll tell you what I do want to do is I want to go to that spot and film it because it's really bitching for one. It's a bitching place. Huh. Yeah. We haven't heard anything about Peggy, and yeah, last we heard Peggy's still alive. I would imagine she's pretty heartbroken and having a hard time just by guessing. I would imagine he was her rock. Guessing. And at the end of Gone with the End. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's true, Scarlett. It's our spot now. I wonder. I wonder. So if let's just do a little dreaming, which is always good. Let's just imagine that Davio has found said location. Obviously, I do not know where the treasure box was. I got a theory it's by the posts, but not in this particular little area. And there's a reason. I think that so I showed you a picture of the big crazy dog and the other dog. So why dogs, right? Well, that would be the dog star. That'd be Canis Major, Canis Minor, and that is exactly southern sky. So it would be right over where that dog's nose is pointing up. It would be right above. It would rise right out of that, or not rise, but kind of come across from the slab, which is very, very interesting. I was going to document where everything is there so you can see what the sky is doing simultaneously. Isn't that a trip? So that means that would have probably something to do with Lakota Sioux dog soldier or just Candace Mudge. I mean, dogs themselves, dogs or coyotes and or wolves that may refer all to the same thing in the sky there. I'm wondering, it might be that. And if so, then that makes this a rather significant location, and yeah, you'd want your remains there. As a matter of fact, it would make it very significant. Huh. Huh. Yeah, I'm finding this extremely strange. That means we should find something about ancestral lands that has something to do with the dog star. What do you call it? Canis Major, Canis Minor. Huh. Sad. Oh, yeah, that's right. People hold each other up. One goes, the other goes. I would imagine. But it's not a horrible thing that happens. I mean, if you feel, I can see not wanting to go on. Well, I hope Richard's agreeing with the whole Candace major minor thing, because that is a fascinating thing with the sky. Natural chart of life, indeed. It is an interesting thing that it would be, because, well, that's just, so what do I do with this? Huh, because there's beaver skulls there. Ooh. Well, pardon me. Well, I heated up really fast. Uh-oh. I think it's time. I'm going to do some painting or something. Anyways, we're just a pondering. Thought I would chat with you all. I'm going to throw this last part of the way, but keep the front part. So I did, the first 20 minutes was pretty good. I think I can make it a little bit tighter. Throw in a couple of other points. I think we kind of shot off to the bench too fast, but I think it's good. I think I have to show the footage of what it looks like to be in that field looking back at that rock, standing on a particular point that is in that book. For instance, pages 32, 35, 37, I think 39, 40, and then gypsies are at 42, 41 and 42. And that's exactly where you are. These trees look like gypsies, and you see how the fire is going up. I saw that as replimentic of the blaze. So it definitely seems like you should be, getting those kind of numbers. And then there's a whole thing about 61. Oh man, 61's a big deal. Huge number. So is 95. Whoa. I'm yawning, so I'm even overwhelming myself. So, enough. Next, we will get into how Wiley Post and his crazy little airplane with wing number 105, and how 105 is the decibel, as in bells that we're seeing. Well, right on, Richard. I'm glad this resonates with you, mate. This is really good. The rest of this will, and why, and by the way, why Wiley Post? Because of Will Rogers, and Will Rogers gets you to this tower in Colorado, and this tower has got the address of 4250, which is, takes you straight out there. Bell Tower plays every quarter hour. Remember, he's talking about putting quarters, change, etc. So this, by the way, has a turret, this turret around this. These are giving you headings all across where you are. So if you go there, you get the idea of headings off of a point right away. See how it's a crazy big point? It's a flag in the ground. This is over 5 stories tall, 5 yet being another important number. This is a crypt in the bottom. Buddha is represented there. So is Lakshmi. So is, I think, Christianity. I think JC's. It's all represented here. Well, there's no... Yeah, I think it is all represented here. This is an awesome. This is the Shrine of the Sun. Does that sound like Blaze? So Blaze and Sun and Star, right? So now we're in a location where we're seeing these freaking dog images, right? We got the crazy Willie. We got Willie the dog image going on here. So I would imagine the reason we're looking at dogs is because of the dog star. That would make that place extremely special, especially to the natives that lived there. Thus, the name Indian Creek that we're on. You definitely want to look up this guy, Wiley Post. He's a very, 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 very interesting guy. I mean, think of posts in the ground, right? When you think of posts in the ground, it's definitely a border, like borderline for biddies. It looks like musical notes. I mean, if it looks, you know what I mean? In other words, with the wires going across, it looks like musical notes, right? I mean, it can look like, right. So I'm thinking that where's the musical notes? Right? So major, minor, we're hearing words like that. So I'm thinking that it could be this is the same as this. I mean, he's trying to get you, trying to get you stuff that is visual reference. That's where I'm going. That's why the Norman Rockwell stuff, right? And then you want to look up this cat because he's just truly freaking amazing dude all day long. Oh my God! And of course, I'll have to do videos of the other parts because they're, you know. So from this would be the Will Rogers Tower. This is where I am in Wyoming. It's the degrees is 347. When you look up Brown versus the Board of Education, you're going to find that one of the numbers is 347. That's right. Brown versus the Board of Education. There's two numbers that go with that, right? That number off of that tower takes you to this place right out here. It takes you to Fort Fetterman too, but that, you know, FF. So takes you, bang, right to this location in Wyoming at 42105. Isn't that far out? And what would make it stand out? The fact that it has a little face. What? Yeah, this is Road 61. What? Yep, that's right. Amazing, right? Right below your nose. Didn't he say that? Just under your nose? Funny guy. Well, then there's the whole, well, it just keeps going. Anyway, that's my idea. I wish I was number 6. I'm at the end of the line. The last in line. Well, I think it's time to eat some ice cream, watch a movie, calm down. I gotta make a big decision. I don't know. It's a good distraction from the other stuff that's going on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. We'll be doing a little bit of editing on this, that's for sure. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi, everybody. I know I've been ignoring you all in the chat. I'm not really chatting up with y'all, but really wanted to get all that stuff into a tight presentation, I guess, because it's a lot of information. And I haven't seen anybody do anything like that, where it ties to the book, to the poem, to a spot, visually, numerologically, all that kind of stuff. There you go, Zoe. Richard has a pole. What kind of pole are we talking? A stripper pole? Sorry. Are you taking a poll in your neighborhood? Hi, I'm just here asking a bunch of questions to get a summary of what's going on around you. Do you have a cat, a dog, a tree? A cat box? Without a cat? No. Questions. Taking a poll. No politics here. Yeah, my left hand is so messed up, I can't even do a drum roll anymore. See? But anyway. Well, good. I'm liking, Holly likes the little video. Yay! So we'll do a similar other thing to kind of show the detail of what equals what. Because, by the way, it's really fascinating that Kpro did some similar things. I think it's kind of natural. So thank you very much, and we'll be going to this place. Stop live stream first here, right? Oh, that'd be why you wouldn't want to close that window.